Welcome to the SCARS Institute Exploration Podcast. Today's podcast is Experiencing Awe and Scam Victim Recovery. This episode was written by Professor Tim McGuinness, Ph.D., created by the certified professionals at the SCARS Institute, and presented by our SCARS Institute AI hosts. This podcast introduces important information to help you learn and better understand about scams and fraud, scammers, and cybercrimes. But even more, they are about helping scam survivors learn how to overcome the trauma they cause and how to embark on their journey of recovery. Our SCARS Institute podcast series helps victims and survivors better understand how these crimes happen to them and how to address the emotional and psychological challenges that result from their experience. We hope it helps you learn to recover and be safe online. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel to hear all of our podcasts and enlightening videos. And remember that we are here to help you to recover from these experiences. And now, experiencing awe and scam victim recovery, building mental resilience after a relationship scam, understanding the nature of awe.
Hello and welcome to the SCARS Institute Exploration Podcast. We are really glad you're here with us today.
We really are.
Our mission with this show is, well, it's simple, but we think it's pretty vital. We're here to support scam survivors.
That's the core of it.
To really unpack the latest insights on recovery, on psychology, and, the path forward. We try to take all this incredible research from the SCARS Institute and just break it down.
Turn it into a conversation.
Exactly. A conversation that helps you understand what you've been through and maybe, more importantly, how to get to the other side of it.
Right. And before we really jump in, I want to set the tone here. We're talking about the aftermath of relationship scams.
It's a heavy topic.
It is. And we know that if you're listening, you might be in a place of just significant pain or confusion right now, maybe even shame.
Yeah.
And we want to validate that immediately. If you have been victimized, please hear this. It was not your fault. You are not alone. And the SCARS Institute is here specifically to help.
Thank you for saying that. It's the most important place to start.
Always.
So today we are exploring a really fascinating, and I have to say, a somewhat surprising concept in the world of recovery. We're looking at a specific article from the SCARS Institute Scams Now magazine.
It's a great one.
It's called Experiencing Awe and Scam Victim Recovery 2026. And I want to be really diligent about our sources here. This isn't just a blog post.
Not at all.
The article was written by Tim McGuinness, Ph.D., DPhil, MCPO, MANTH, and his titles are, well, he's an anthropologist, a scientist, a polymath, and the director of the Society of Citizens Against Relationship Scams, Inc.
So we're talking about decades of experience in this field. And what stands out about this particular piece is that it tackles that psychological wreckage a scam leaves behind, but it offers an antidote to that.
Wow.
It's not a pill. It's not a legal procedure.
Right.
It's a specific emotional state.
I have to admit, when I first saw that in the title, I was a little skeptical.
I get that.
It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? Just go look at a sunset and you'll feel better. It sort of risks sounding like a greeting card.
Right. Very simplistic. But as you dig in, it's clear Dr. McGuinness isn't talking about just feeling good.
No.
This is a biological and neurological reset. But before we can even get to the solution, we have to really understand the problem. The article paints this intense picture of a victim's mindset. It calls the aftermath a landscape flattened by a catastrophic storm.
And that's such a powerful image.
It's very evocative and unfortunately entirely accurate for survivors.
Yeah.
We have to understand the state of mind here. It's not just the financial loss, though that is, brutal and life-altering.
Of course.
It's about betrayal trauma. When a survivor realizes they've been deceived, their entire world just shrinks. The article talks about a concept called psychological constriction.
Okay, let's slow down there. Psychological constriction. What does that actually look like for someone listening?
Think of it as a defense mechanism that's gone into overdrive. When we face a massive threat, and realizing your reality was a lie is a huge threat, our cognitive and emotional fields just narrow.
The article calls it scam fog, right?
Exactly, scam fog. The victim's world reduces to this dark tunnel. And inside that tunnel, there are only three things: the trauma, the scammer, and the pain.
Everything else is just fuzzy on the outside.
Is all pushed to the periphery. And you use the word tunnel, which I think is a perfect analogy. It's like you're driving in a storm, and you can only see a few feet of pavement in front of you. You lose all sense of the map.
You have no idea where you're going.
None. And biologically, this is the fight, flight, or freeze response, just stuck on a loop, your prefrontal cortex.
That's the logic center, right? The planning part.
Exactly, the planning, the creativity, your perspective. It basically goes on hold, shuts down. And meanwhile, the amygdala, the fear center, it just takes over the driver's seat.
So you get stuck in what the article calls obsessive rumination.
That's the word. And it's heavy. Rumination is replaying events over and over and over, trying to solve a puzzle that just has no solution.
It's like a broken record.
It is. You're looking for that one moment you could have stopped it, or trying to understand why. But you're not actually problem solving. You're just looping.
Yeah, and the source material lists some specific symptoms of this constriction that I think will really resonate. It mentioned emotional blunting.
Ah, yes.
I found that interesting, the idea of blocking out joy just to prevent hurting anymore.
It's a shield. If you let nothing in, you think nothing can hurt you. But, that also means joy and beauty can't get in either.
And then there's hypervigilance.
Right, where the whole world starts to look like a threat. And social withdrawal, that bunker mentality. It's a survival instinct to hide, but it becomes a prison. It prevents the very connection you need to heal.
And that is the catch-22, isn't it? You pull away to stay safe, but pulling away is what keeps you sick.
Exactly.
And this is where the whole concept of awe comes in, not as a distraction, but as a key to unlock that prison door. So let's pivot. What is awe specifically?
Well, psychologists generally identify two main features. The first is vastness. This is when you encounter something physically, conceptually, or even socially that is just way larger than you. A mountain, the cosmos, a massive, complex idea.
Okay, so big stuff, things that make you feel tiny. What's the second part?
The second is the need for accommodation. This is the crucial bit. The thing you're experiencing is so big or complex that it just doesn't fit into your existing mental box.
It doesn't fit your schema.
Right. Your brain has to physically and mentally stretch to make sense of it.
And that stretching is the important part. It forces the brain to kind of update its software.
Precisely. It disrupts the status quo of your thinking. If you see a nice car, you just think, oh, nice car. There's no accommodation.
You can categorize it instantly.
But if you look at the northern lights, your brain goes, wait, what? What is that? How is that possible?
Yeah.
That pause, that gap, that is awe.
No, the article makes this really interesting distinction between awe and wonder. I think we use those words interchangeably.
We do, all the time. But Dr. McGuinness suggests they do different work in recovery. Awe is described as a top-down experience.
Top-down.
The vastness looms over you. It stops you in your tracks. It makes you feel small and humble. You're just receiving it.
Whereas wonder is different.
Yes. Wonder is bottom-up. It's exploratory. It leads to curiosity. Standing at the Grand Canyon and feeling overwhelmed by its size, that's awe.
Okay.
But looking at the rock layers and asking, how did that get there? How long did that take? That's wonder.
And why does that distinction even matter for a survivor?
Because they serve different stages of healing. Awe breaks the ego's fixation on the trauma. It's the reset button. It stops the loop.
I see.
Wonder, on the other hand, helps rebuild engagement with the world. It's the growth. But you often need that hard reset of awe before you can even get to the curiosity of wonder.
You have to stop the spinning before you can move forward.
Exactly.
That brings us to this concept of the small self. Now that sounds like an insult, especially to a victim who already feels powerless.
That's a very valid point. But here, small self refers to the ego, not your self-worth. In trauma, the ego becomes hyperinflated, but in a tragic way.
How so?
The victim becomes the center of tragedy. The narrative is all my pain, my loss, my stupidity. The self is huge and heavy because it's carrying the entire weight of the event.
Right. It's like you're the star of the worst movie ever made. The spotlight is on you, but it's a harsh one.
That's it, exactly. It's exhausting. But when you stand before the ocean or look at a star chart, the me and the scam, they suddenly feel smaller relative to the universe. Awe shrinks the ego.
It's not that you don't matter, it's that the pain isn't the whole world.
Precisely. It's not about being insignificant. It's about being integrated into something bigger than your pain.
Let's get into the neurology, because the source material gets pretty scientific here. It mentions the default mode network. What is that?
The default mode network, or DMN, it's the network that's active when you're not focused on the outside world. It's on when you're daydreaming or worrying.
So the inner monologue.
Yes. And in a traumatized state, this network is hyperactive. It's the engine of the inner critic. It's responsible for all those what-if loops and the rumination we talked about.
So it's the voice in your head at 3 a.m. replaying the scam over and over. Why did I send that money? How could I be so blind?
That's the DMN firing on all cylinders. And awe quiets that network. The sheer cognitive load of trying to process the Milky Way takes resources away from that inner critic. It's a pattern interrupt.
Your brain can't do both at once.
It literally can't. And this also brings it down into the body. It mentions the vagus nerve.
And the parasympathetic system.
Yes, the body's rest and digest system. Trauma keeps you in fight or flight, high cortisol, high inflammation. Awe engages the vagus nerve, which slows the heart rate, deepens your breathing.
So it's a biological signal.
It's a signal that says the immediate danger has passed. You are safe. It soothes the body in a way that just thinking positive thoughts can't. You have to feel your way out of that lockdown.
That's so important. It's a physiological reset. Now, there's another layer to this damage. The loss of trust. And not just in people, in reality itself.
That's the deep cynicism that follows a scam. They weaponized trust. They took the victim's kindness and used it against them. So the world itself starts to feel chaotic and cruel.
The fundamental order of things feels broken.
Exactly.
So how does awe fix that? I mean, a sunset doesn't give you your money back. It doesn't put the scammer in jail.
No, it doesn't. And we have to be clear. This isn't justice. This is recovery. Awe provides evidence of something profound. It proves that while the scammer was malicious, the universe itself is not.
It allows for what the article calls dual awareness.
Right, holding two truths at once. Acknowledging that darkness exists, the scam happened, but simultaneously that light and beauty and majesty also exist.
The scammer doesn't negate the stars.
He doesn't. And that helps you step out of that black and white thinking where everything is bad. It restores balance.
The article also mentions pro-social awe. This is about people, which seems like the hardest thing to reconnect with.
It is the hardest, but it's critical. Pro-social awe is being moved by human acts of courage or kindness. It's seeing moral beauty.
And this connects directly to the scars community, right?
It does. Reading other survivor stories can induce this. When you see someone else who has survived the unthinkable, it breaks the isolation. It reminds you that the human spirit is resilient, and you're part of that.
I love that. It takes the focus off the predator and puts it back on the strength of the survivors.
Exactly.
Okay, so we know why we need awe. The big question is how. You know, not everyone can book a ticket to the Grand Canyon.
And that's the point Dr. McGuinness stresses. Awe doesn't require a plane ticket. It requires intention. You have to go find it.
So these awe walks the article talks about, is that just walking around the block?
It can be, but the mindset is different. You're walking with a specific intent to notice vastness or detail. You're not walking for exercise or to listen to us.
Present company excluded, of course.
Of course, you are walking to look, to find things that force that mental stretch.
The source material has a list of 20 ways. One of them I loved was just looking at the complex veins of a leaf or spider web.
That's a perfect example of microvastness. The complexity in a single leaf, if you really look, is mind-blowing. It pulls you out of your head and into the present.
Another was stargazing, the classic.
Right. It immediately triggers that small self. It places your trauma in a galactic context.
Yeah.
It's very hard to worry about a bank transfer when you're looking at light that's 1 million years old.
It changes the scale of the worry.
And for city dwellers, it mentions urban architecture.
Yeah.
Just looking up.
Literally changing your posture.
Yes. When we're depressed, we look down. Awe makes us look up.
But there's a hurdle here. What if you try this and you feel a nothing? What if you go for the walk and you're just numb?
That is a very common reaction.
Yeah.
And the advice is so important. Do not beat yourself up. Don't add failure to feel awe to your list of grievances.
Because numbness is a defense mechanism.
It is. It's your brain turning down the volume on everything.
Yeah.
So the advice is to essentially fake it until you feel it.
Keep trying.
You gently push against the numbness. Awe is a practice, not a magic switch. You might go on 5 walks and feel nothing. But on the 6th, you might notice something, a spark.
It's like physical therapy for your emotions.
That's a great way to put it. You have to retrain your brain to look for beauty. It might feel awkward at first, but you keep moving.
That's really encouraging. It takes the pressure off.
It's about expanding the container of your life, and that's really the key takeaway. Awe doesn't erase the past. It doesn't delete the scam.
But it expands the container of your life so the trauma isn't the only thing inside it.
Exactly. If your life is a small cup and the trauma is black ink, the water's black.
But if your life becomes a swimming pool...
The ink is still there. We're not pretending it isn't. But it's diluted. It's manageable. It gives you room to breathe again.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with this thought from Dr. McGuinness's work. The scammer took so much money, time, trust. Those losses are real.
So real.
But there are things they cannot take.
They cannot take the majesty of the stars. They can't take the resilience of the human spirit.
Or the beauty of a storm.
Those things belong to you. And reclaiming your connection to them is an act of defiance. It's an act of recovery.
It's saying, I am still here, and I am still part of this beautiful world.
Look forward and look up.
That is the message. We promised resources, and this is mandatory for us. You do not have to do this alone.
Never. If you are a scam victim or survivor, please join the Scars Institute Survivors community. It is free, it is safe, and it's completely confidential.
You'll find people there who understand exactly what you're going through. You can sign up at www.scarscommunity.org.
And for immediate information, the practical steps, what you need to know right now, please visit www.scamsvictimsupport.org.
There are checklists and guides there to help you stabilize things.
Recovery is possible. It's a journey. And sometimes it just starts by walking outside and looking at the sky.
Thank you for listening to this Scars Institute Exploration podcast. We hope this has given you a new tool, or at least a new way to look at the world. Take care of yourself, and remember, you are not alone.
Goodbye, and keep looking up.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. On behalf of the whole Scars Institute team, we hope this has helped to provide a deeper understanding of this important topic. Remember to subscribe or follow us to stay informed of all our articles, publications, and videos as they are released. Please tell us what you think of our podcasts by leaving us your comments. Your feedback is how we know if we are helping. By a scam, the Scars Institute can help you. To begin, visit scamvictimsupport.org. If you are ready to join a Scars Institute support and recovery group, visit scarscommunity.org/register to enroll in the Scars Institute Scam Survivors School's next class. Visit scarseducation.org. All Scars Institute Victim Survivors services are completely free. We understand what you have gone through, and we can help. Contact the Scars Institute today. The Scars Institute is here to help you. We are a global non-profit organization, supporting scam victims worldwide, providing free support and recovery services. Contact us today to let us help you to recover. Remember, all Scars Institute services are free to scam victims and their families. This podcast is copyright 2026. All rights reserved worldwide.